Hey everyone, my name is Carmine Demaro and welcome to the Coffee Date brought to you by VFA at VCU. Today we have ACe Callwood. He is the entrepreneur in residence here at VCU as well as the co-founder of Coffeetivity. Today he's going to be talking a little bit about his venture in entrepreneurship and how he got started. ACe, to get started with that, why don't you tell us a little bit about the first company you began with while you were in college?
Yeah, my co-founder Justin, who's off camera here, actually, kind of cool. Co-founder Justin and I started CycleStay actually when we were here in the entrepreneurship program. So that was our senior capstone project. I think both of us have worked on similar projects prior to that in kind of our intro to entrepreneurship classes. But CycleStay was a self-aware bike rack system essentially. So we conceptualized a bike rack with a built-in lock that you could ride down the campus, swipe into with like your student ID card, lock your bike, and then walk away. And if anything happened, it would sound a local alarm, like very similar to a car alarm system. And then it would actually send a notification to the user. So you could be in class and you get a notification that says, hey, something's happening to your bike right now. You should check that out, or that notification could go to campus security or kind of whoever's down at the desk downstairs at any given academic building. So it was kind of this like high concept bike security solution for campuses, student and corporate campuses kind of across the country, but kind of a high touch scenario for bike security that we thought should be done better.
Okay, and so what inspired the idea for that?
I think like I had gotten 3 or 4 bikes stolen. Justin, I think, was in the same boat. That was like no brainer. It's like, this sucks. I don't have a bike, and that was how I got around campus. So like my beach cruiser, it was like a $300 or $400 cruiser that I built, got stolen. My first fixie got stolen, and it just sucked over and over and over again. And at some point, I was like, this is something I should solve because it's not being done well yet.
Okay.
I mean, U-locks, chains, bike security hasn't changed for like the past 200 years.
Sure.
You know? I don't know if bikes have been around that long, but something like that.
A good while.
Long time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So being a college student, you've got your classes, sometimes you've got work, you have all these things spinning around in your head. How did you find the time and what were the challenges involved in starting a business while you were still a student?
It sucked, but like in the best of ways, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I think for me, my classes and like college education clicked when I started doing entrepreneurship. Like when I had a business, a venture, kind of the grade associated with that was ancillary at that point. It was like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to have to go work for somebody when I get out of school.
Sure.
Can I get this venture off the ground? Can we get funding? Can we do all of those things? And so that was our goal, and I think all of the classes I was taking really added value to what I was doing. You know, I went to marketing because I had to figure out how to talk to my audience and connect with them and get them to buy what I was selling.
It wasn't dry anymore, you could apply it to what you were doing.
It was very much applied learning at that point, and like it clicked, and it was like, holy shit, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And so
Right.
that was it was kind of a no-brainer when we kicked off CycleStay at the time, and that's kind of translated into several ventures since then.
Okay. And so since CycleStay, you've now discontinued that and moved on. Can you go into the process that brought you to stop CycleStay?
Yeah.
So to rephrase that, when did you know that it was time to move on?
We knew it was end of 2012 or early 2013. I can almost remember. You should hold on to your coffee.
Probably should.
Remember my first coffee. No, it was late 2012, early 2013. We had kind of been in investment meetings. We'd met with our board of advisors several times, and like we'd just been talking to our customers, you know, understanding the people who would actually be paying for CycleStay. And we found out that the product we were building wasn't the product that A, people would pay for, or B, would be feasible for us to build. And kind of that came from talks with our engineering team as well. And I think it helps to note that Justin and I are business guys, or we were at the time. We've kind of ended up in different spaces now, but we realized that we couldn't build the thing that we wanted to build.
Right.
We had to hire and put a team around us to be able to do that, and that was tough. And so ultimately we got to a place where we had been in and out of meetings, in and out of kind of chats with potential investors in our team, and realized that while it was a problem that should still be solved, I would love to see somebody do something like CycleStay. It wasn't the thing that we should do, like us as a team, as 2 founders, trying to put together a venture that we'd ultimately be in for a couple years. And I think it was like right after one of our last investment meetings, it was just like, hey,
Had that realization.
this isn't the thing. I liken it to, when you're building a venture, it's your baby, or it's your family, right? Like you'd fight anybody for that.
Right.
After a point, it kind of turned into, we were taking punches for like our cousin's acquaintance.
Sure.
And like, you're not fighting the same fight anymore, and like it sucks taking like kidney shots for a project
Something
you're
you're
not passionate about.
Okay.
Passion's a thing, yeah. Yep.
Okay, and so today you transitioned into Coffeetivity, the website that plays coffee sounds online, brings the coffee shop to your home, and it's been very successful. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You said it all. I think that was a better pitch than I would have given.
There you go.
Yeah, so Coffeetivity is what we call a workday creativity tool. Maybe I'm the only one that calls it that. But I think that kind of sums up what we're doing, exactly like you said. We play the sounds of a coffee shop, so the ambient noise, the chatter, the clatter of the cafe, and a lot of environments that we find kind of conducive to doing good work. And what's interesting is the science behind it substantiates exactly how we feel in a coffee shop. It says a moderate level of ambient noise is conducive to creative cognition, which in layman's terms means having a tiny bit of distraction helps us work better. The same reason aha moments come when we take a shower or brush our teeth or mow the lawn. We're not focused entirely 100% too much on the work we're doing.
Sure.
We can start thinking kind of abstractly because we're a tiny bit distracted. And so that's what we were able to replicate virtually in Coffeetivity, that same experience that one might get in the actual coffee shop.
Right. And so I think it's important to note, when you first started off with this idea, or when you first heard about it rather, you were a little skeptical, to say the least. So you did not think this was going to take off in the way it did. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it greatly exceeded your expectations?
No, yeah, I mean, two things there. One, I told Justin it was a stupid idea when we started. He said, hey dude, I'm in a quiet office. Yeah, I think he called me, he said, I'm in the office, it's quiet. I asked my boss if I could take my computer and like go to the coffee shop, and she said no, so I need to bring it to me. And I said, that is not the best idea, we shouldn't do that.
Right.
And he said, well, guess what, we're doing it anyway. And it's important to note that Coffeetivity was kind of a vehicle for Justin to learn some things and us as a team to build out some skill sets and competencies. And so he wanted to learn how to code. I mean, that's a very real thing. Hey, we want to build a website. We don't know how to build a website. So it was a vehicle to learn that. The designer we had on board, Nicole, she's a partner of ours, was an interior designer and wanted to get into web and graphic design. And so outside of her doodles, this was a project that was like real life application of the skills she wanted to learn. And then for me, more communications and kind of talking, which clearly I don't have a problem doing. But no, it was a great experience for us. And so all of those skill sets being put into one project, we were able to work on those things. And so it was a vehicle, it was something that we wanted to do, but it was never supposed to be this like consumer facing huge thing that it turned into. So we launched the first day, we had 120 page views, which means Justin's mom and my mom looked at it like 60 times a piece. I don't know if I did the math there right. The second day we had 49,000 page views. So like literally overnight we went viral.
What was your reaction when you got on the second day and saw 49,000 page views?
We said a lot of words that I probably can't say in this coffee chat. Justin's boss sent him home. And we actually, so as we're overlooking the atrium, we posted up on the third floor, like on the backside of Sneed. And worked like all of that day. We set up a Twitter account, we like got Facebook online, we were talking to people, we had some press outlets reach out and say, hey, what are you guys doing? And I don't know that we had answers for that at that time, so it was like all hands on deck.
Very much kind of adapting on the go. On the fly.
Yeah, we were rolling with punches and like hacking things together, which was fun. I think we have a blast even looking back at that, but yeah, it was, we weren't sure what to expect, or we had no idea what was coming like in the moment. And it's fun to look back on, 24, just about 2 years on the dot ago. Yeah, it's a crazy experience.
Amazing. Okay, so to end this, we'd like to get a tip for students who are trying to start a business while they're in college. What do you think is the most important thing for somebody who sees a pain they'd like to solve, but they either don't believe they can, or they haven't even thought of applying that to starting a business?
Yeah, my tip would be don't start a business. My tip would really be figure out how to solve that problem and start on a side project to get it done. You don't need to start a business. I think entrepreneurship's sexy. Hell, I've made a job out of it, obviously. You know, like it's something that I believe changes the way we exist in the world. It changes society, entrepreneurship, and starting businesses. But not everything should be a business, and not everything should be a startup right away. So what I would say is figure out how to solve that problem. Put together kind of what we call an MVP, obviously, but like the smallest, most simple form of what that business might be one day, and just try it out. Very low risk, usually low capital. Just like give it a shot, figure out if people actually want that, and then from there, come talk to me, I guess would be the next piece.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ace. This was the Coffee Date brought to you by VFA at VCU, and we'll see you next week at the same time and place. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.